Well, welcome everybody. Thank you very much for coming. I'm Zsuzsanna SZELÉNYI, one of the host and organizer of this meeting today, of this very nice workshop. First, I'd like to give the floor to François PAULI, a wonderful Frenchman who will give a couple of remarks as one of the major funders for this event. So François, please.
Thank you.
Okay, that's not good.
Please speak up because it's not easy to hear at the back.
Yes, I would like to thank Zsuzsanna for welcome. My name is François PAULI, so in fact I'm speaking on behalf of the Institute of European Democrats. Yes, we are co-organizers of this event with the Hungarian European Society.
So please use this one. This is better.
Ah, okay. Excuse me. And HES and with the German Marshall Fund. We are a foundation, a European foundation, financed by the European Parliament, affiliated to the EDP, European Democratic Party, one of the components of the ALDE group in the European Parliament. And our general manager, Lula Bader, will come later, will participate in the seminar, I think, in the afternoon, and he will take the floor. But so is our general manager, and I would like to thank two colleagues and friends, Flaminia Bafigo, who is Deputy General Manager of the ALDE, and Adriana Shekova, excuse me, who is Executive Officer of the ALDE. And so thanks for coming. I would like to thank particularly the speakers, numerous and talented speakers coming from V4, so the world group space, but not only from different European countries, even from the USA. And just one historic reminder. We started our cooperation with HES and with Zsuzsanna a long time ago, in I think in 2013 or 14. And we participated in some seminars here. In April 2015, we were present for a seminar in Budapest organized by the HES and our friend István Egedus about the liberal democracies. But now the context is perhaps a bit different, more positive. Indeed, we are living a kind of European spring. The rise of populism was stopped in two member states. Holland first in March with the defeat of PVV, and later in France, my country, thanks to the victory of Emmanuel Macron, a liberal guy. So it's a big event in France, a centrist liberal, who is now president of the Republic. And these member states, don't forget that these member states, Holland and France, were responsible for a crucial and very serious crisis in Europe in 2005. After the rejection of the constitutional treaty about Europe. So, as said Winston Churchill, one of the pilgrim fathers of the EU, in 1942, he said, it's perhaps the end of the beginning. That I think we could be more optimistic in Europe now, and we could make democracy and the EU stronger. But we have 2 years left before the European elections, and in the meantime, I think we have to continue our reflection, of course. It's the role of think tanks, but in the different member states, I think we have a political work to continue in order to curb the rise of the different populist movements. But now I was too long. I give the floor to Zsuzsa again. Thanks, Zsuzsa, for your welcome, and have a good work, and thanks for your participation.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Okay. Thank you very much, François. François is an extremely committed networker and organizer in the name of Institute for European Democracy and the European Democratic Party, which is a small party group in the European Parliament, but very, very committed to Europe. And this is one major reason why we've been cooperating since I am in politics, and we try to work together on developing the pro-European commitment in this region of Central Europe. So I'm very pleased that you are here, and thank you very much for your kind words, because you are very present in Budapest, and you know this country and also Slovakia and other countries very well. I would like to tell you a couple of, first of all, I'd like to welcome you all here. The framework of this project, I would say, the V4 Europe, is relatively new, and some of you may not be well aware what this project is. However, I think everyone who is there is pretty pro-European, and we do understand a lot of the challenges Europe and Central Europe and Hungary are facing in these days. The V4 Europe project was emerged last year, somehow as a response to the revitalization of the Visegrad group in the hands and with the initiative Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán 2 years ago, but somehow in a different format as we usually thought about the Visegrad countries. Well, many of us felt the Visegrad cooperation 25 years ago as a symbol of the region to join the European Union and the obvious European culture where we always felt being at home. The revitalization of this cooperation, like 1 or 2 years ago, was somehow had a different profile. Many in the EU believe the V4 as a kind of blocking unity in these days, and of course, obviously, we were very touched by this understanding and this perception of the Central European countries. So this was the major reason why we believed here in Budapest first that we have to do something and offer an alternative to the so-called sovereignist idea of the European Union, which we believe is more disorganizing the Union than the united. And of course, we needed partners. So first, we turned to the German Marshall Fund. Later, we will have Ivan Vejvoda with us, who I spoke to him last summer first about this idea, and they offered us a seed fund, which made us possible, Zsuzsi and me, to travel around in the Visegrad countries and seek for partners. And this was how we tried to build and formulate the profile of this project, which we hope we are in the process and we can develop it with other partners from the other countries. The main ambition of this project, first of all, exchange views. We understood in this last year when we started working together in the framework of the Hungarian Europe Society that we need a lot of common understanding, and even Hungary is a kind of front runner of populism in Europe, There are many similarities in other countries, and obviously in Poland first of all, but not only in Poland but also in Slovakia and the Czech Republic. So we understood that we have a common language and a common understanding. We also thought that we need a more in-depth understanding what really is happening, because people are actually supporting populist forces in the region. So there must be something what makes sense. And we do have to understand this if we want to provide an alternative, which is our third goal. We don't only want to speak and understand, but also we want to formulate policies. And because otherwise the populist policies will be the only existing ones, and there won't be choice. And this also means that we want to work together with academics, with think tankers, with politicians and NGOs, activists who actually are the change makers. So it's also a very important element in our project that it's a kind of cross-sectoral by concerning the participants, so that we can benefit from the experiences from the practitioners and the thinkers. Well, we also want later to provide and build up an online portal, so we want to publish what we learn and what we understand, and also our policies. So this is the framework of the project, and we are now on the third workshop, and I'll tell you shortly what has happened already. But first, I think we in the Hungarian Europe Society, we are pretty concerned that the raison d'être of the European Union is still there. Nothing has changed since the origin of the organization over the decades. Even more, it has already deepened and got richer in the previous decades. And as we look around in the world, we believe that a European cooperation must be strengthened even more. But it's not the obvious view and perception of many people in this very region. There is a recent research of the American International Republican Institute, which I've seen and we can share with you because it's pretty new, where all the 4 countries people were asked in large numbers, so it's a pretty good representative research, and it had a very similar pattern of how people think about the European Union. People believe as benefits of the EU is obviously the financial aid and the single market with the 4 freedoms, and obviously Schengen. We have had a very nice seminar with the Institute in Bratislava a year ago about the Schengen agreement, but this is something very, very important for the people in this region, the free travel, which is pretty understandable, and the opportunity to work. So these are predominantly the benefits people see. And much, much less of them believe that the democratic culture of the European values are also important. However, I believe this was different 15, 20 years ago. And they also mentioned the cost of the European being participant of the European Union. And then they see that the EU is too competitive to us, so we are not up to this competition which the European Union requires. Many people believe that there is a kind of loss of independence and sovereignty. We in Hungary believe that this is very much because of government propaganda, but may not only be like that, because that's not the same level of propaganda in other countries. So there is something with this sovereignty and a kind of feeling of autonomy. And it's very, very wide-ranging that people feel that we are treated like junior partners, kind of feeling of being the small and oppressed, which is, again, something we know from our histories is very present. And these are there now again. So we have to do something with this kind of understanding. Most people believe that, yes, we want the EU, the region's people are pretty pro-European, but it's a kind of different one. And of course, that's the question, what kind of different EU we want. And our government's answer very often is that it should be more autonomous, more sovereign, more independent. And then how does it fit to the future of the euro? How can this then face with the challenges which are more and more global, including the competitiveness, climate change, terrorism, migration, and everything what actually impacts our life is very global. But we people are very, very local at the same time, and we do have to understand how to handle this. The priorities of the European Union these days, if we read the Rome Treaty Agreement from March or the 5 scenarios of President Juncker, are obviously economic competition, cooperation, and security question. We probably will speak about that today. And you don't see anywhere democracy and human rights any longer. And I think we here in Hungary, we feel it's a trouble. Because we live in a country where this is disappearing. It's not a political value by a big and strong government any longer. Even more, the opposite is true. They call themselves a liberal democracy. So we also have to do something with it because people are voting for this government. And then we might make some mistake, or there are new priorities of people's life. I believe people are more pragmatic today than 15, 20 years ago, or just life has changed around us. So, but we do have to deal with the issue. So this is what we want to study during this project, the Before Europe, because we believe we have to formulate alternative vision to the sovereignist concept, which is getting more and more prevalent in the region and represented by political parties and supported by people. And we do not think that this serves the future of Europe, especially in this region. We believe in a stronger cooperation, and we want to work for that. So this is why the project is done. The first workshop we organized in March was about the question of sovereignty. This was very much a kind of legal perspective and how the EU is dealing with the issue. The second workshop that we've organized in April dealt with foreign policy. Is there a populist foreign policy? What does this mean? Does it really exist? Or foreign policy is just basically pragmatic business? And now here we are in the third workshop, which is, I believe, is very fascinating because we want to dig in deep in a few issues. First of all, migration. We understood in the last years that migration became the key symbolic identity issue of populism, and in this region of Central Europe, not only in Hungary but everywhere, we have something special in relation to migration, and it's more symbolic than real. So we want to talk about that in the first panel. The second panel will deal with economic nationalism, which also very present. Is this possible at all in the European Union where everyone wants to get more economic cooperation? Even the Hungarian government, that's the first priority, a stronger economic cooperation. At the same time with a nationalistic, sovereignist understanding of populism, or it's about something else. So this is another issue. And the third panel will be a discussion, more a discussion than analysis of the current situation, the zeitgeist of populism. François already mentioned a couple of words about how things has changed, hopefully positive in the last couple of months in the EU through various elections. But of course, if we are dealing with deeper underlying trends, is this a couple of elections or a few personalities satisfactory to change the mood? So this is what we will discuss in the third panel. So thank you very much for coming. Many of you are contributors to the workshop, but this is a workshop. So we invite every participant to contribute, to comment and ask questions, because we will develop these texts and we'll write report in order to follow it on in the fall. And I would like to thank you very, very much for our donors, mainly the Institute of European Democracy, and also your technical support, so we have everything so fit. Thank you very, very much, Flavinia and François and Adriana. And of course, I'd like to thank the German Marshall Fund, who is not represented here today, but Ivan Vejvoda is going to be our second keynote speaker. He's still sitting in the train, but hopefully we'll get here soon. Was very operational that this project come to life. So thank you all for coming, and I hope that we'll have a very interesting day. And now I would like to introduce you Milada Anna Vahudova, who we have been waiting for a while, because she's an American professor, but she's Czech by origin, so she's from the region, but she's also seeing the world from other side and other angle, from an interesting country in terms of populism. And Milada is a chair of the curriculum in Global Studies and associate professor of the political science at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, and she has various other functions which you can also see in this wonderful biography program which were produced by the Institute. And now it's your turn to face the challenge and try to answer some of the questions I tried to identify.